Hello and welcome to another video with Maxwell's Virtual Aviation. It has been a bit, a lot has happened in the flight sim world. We'll chat a little bit about that, but right now I've got a flight to do. Now, recently I have joined Millennium Aviation Company, Mac Airlines, and they were a huge portion of me wanting to do these types of videos online. Mac and his tour through being a virtual airline pilot, and it made me want to share kind of what I do. And so it has been, I've been flying for them, working my way towards my first officer status. And the last 5 or 6 flights I've been here in Papua New Guinea. And it should be noted that Mac doesn't do any of the crazy dirt strips like Missionary bush pilot. We fly pretty much pavement to pavement, tarmac to tarmac, making sure that the good people of PNG are getting where they need to go. So it's very airline flying. It's not like crazy bush flying, but it's still really beautiful and a lot of fun. On that note, I would also like to say that I actually picked up some of the PNG coffee that Missionary bush pilot has been offering for sale in his last couple videos, and it is absolutely, it's really good. It's a medium roast. But it's bold. It's really good. I've been drinking it every morning, and it's really good. So, yeah, go look up Missionary bush pilot and get some of the coffee because it's totally worth it. Anyway, so today's flight is from Garua to Port Moresby, Jackson International. We are in the mighty Cessna Caravan. Mac currently doesn't have the Kodiak as one of the aircraft I can substitute as a regional aircraft for this flight, but the 208 is, so we're taking the 208, and it's proven to be a really good aircraft, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But you can't see this right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and contact my dispatch here. Alright, and give me 1 minute. What I'm doing is I'm just going here, updating my aircraft from the Dash 8 that this is actually supposed to be flown with to our Cessna here. And I think I can do it with this one. It'd be for ERA, where is it? Here it is. There are so many aircraft to fly. This is the one I have been flying. 208 Caravan, we're flying offline. We've got 12 people on board. We're gonna go all the way up to 12.5 today. That's about the limit of flight that I can do without oxygen, and the passengers are expecting it. It's okay, they're used to that. So, all right, so 12.5, we've got that. Let's see what dispatch says. Okay. Dispatch says I need to start my flight first before they can dispatch me. So, we'll go ahead and hit fly. Look at the flight conditions right here. We'll have to see if we need to change those. But, yeah, let's see what PNG looks like. So, yeah, this is my first video in quite some time, so bear with me. There'll be some rambling. There'll probably be some poor airmanship, but that's, you know, that's kind of how we fly here. In the middle, I will have a moment when I can go ahead and just speed up, and we'll throw some music over it and get over that bit, and I'll keep talking, but it's only about a half-hour flight, so here we go. I do have FS Realistic active, so some of the noises are coming from that. It should be noted that I'm also using, let's see here. Okay, start. Sweet. Pre-flight started. All right. Dispatch is aware where we are. I am also using a throttle set from iDigStuff for the Cessna Caravan. It's a 5-piece set, flap lever, condition lever, prop lever, throttle, and then the emergency handle, which doesn't do anything in the sim yet, but all of them are there. It's absolutely beautiful. Really adds to the immersion of flying the Caravan, so it's a lot of fun. I'm also going to be reading through a checklist that I did. If you'd like to see the checklist, let me know. I'll throw it up on... it's just really simple. I still need to do some tweaks on it, but it's simply, for me, it's not like a super accurate checklist, but it's very much like, you know, what do I need to remember when I'm flying this aircraft? So let's get started, shall we? I'm going to assume that my 12 passengers are already aboard. Let's make sure that we can actually taxi out here. It looks like we can. Not a problem. I don't see any major problem with the weather. We'll probably find it on the way, but that's how that happens. All right, so here we go. Pre-start. So parking brake is on. Battery can go ahead and come on. Avionics are on. Fuel selectors both come on. Condition lever is cut off. Propeller goes to max. Power levels at idle. Prop area is clear except for this person who's standing in front of me, but they'll move. Beacon light, go ahead and come on. Inertial separator as required. We are kind of in the rural area. We are going to turn that inertial separator on. Pre-start is complete. Look around a little bit. Kind of some heavy clouds. I don't see anything out that way yet, so we'll know that when we taxi. Let's see here. Oh, wait for that load as we start. Next up is going to be our start, which actually I think we can probably do that now. There we go. And that way. All right. Here we go. Starting. Ignition is going to go ahead and come on. As a record, I had a comment in one of my Kodiak videos that you do the ignition first so you can actually hear it igniting. So I always do it first now. There's ignition on. Fuel pump, go ahead and come on. Starter is going to be engaged. Fuel oil pressure is coming up. That's good. NG's coming up. It's going to stabilize at 12. There's 12. Here comes the fuel. So much easier with this setup. It's so cool. There we go. Watching our ITT. It's dropping. That's excellent. Starter can go off at 50 NG. There's 50 NG. Starter can go ahead and come off. Fuel boost to normal. And generator all on. And ignition to normal.
You need to stop the engines to request ground services.
That is, of course, my ground service system, GNS, or whatever that program is called, attempting to activate, but I haven't had it active in quite some time because it's a resource sucks, and quite frankly, it doesn't do anything that I can do already. So, anyway, flaps go ahead and go to takeoff with it just half, and I actually have a lever to do it, and that's really cool. Let's see here, turn flaps takeoff, altimeter set and check, there we go. Navigation lights can go ahead and come on, and taxi lights can go ahead and come on. All right, our start checklist is complete. Let me see what the status of our radios are right now. Okay, I've got the radios. Very good. Let's take a look at our mighty aircraft. We're just in the default livery. All right, we are ready to taxi. Let's get our autopilot set here. So, I will admit that I am kind of late to the game, but I just discovered FLC. Like, I have been flying since 2004, and I just discovered what FLC does, and it's the coolest thing on Earth. And, yeah, I use it often whenever I can. That is the dog in the back of the aircraft, of course. But, you know, we have, like, a couple of chickens, too. 12 people. They don't care what I'm doing right now. All right, so that is on. We can go ahead and turn on our FLC. I have discovered that in the Caravan, maximum climb rate... Oh, that's actually not the one that I wanted. I need to just switch this. Okay. Maximum climb rate is actually about 95 knots, and that will get you up in a hurry if you need it. And so that's what I use as my max climb. Standard climb's like 110 for me. But 95 will get you to whatever altitude you need in a pretty good hurry. All right, let's change our CDI over here. We're just doing direct. Turn our nav on. That looks good, that looks good, that looks good. Flight director is on. We'll turn the yaw damper on once we're in the air. Sweet. All right, I think we're ready for our taxi checklist. AP set. All right, so taxi area is clear, I said, except for this person here. They'll move. Let's go ahead and let people know what we're doing here. Actually, where is our... You know what would be a cool camera to have in 2024? A camera that just looks directly at the windsock. There is our windsock. There it is. Let's see. Very light winds. Alright, I think we're safe to take off from either side.
Alpha Yankee Golf Romeo traffic.
My voices are all screwed up. I don't know why, but it is what it is.
To runway 03.
And we're taxiing to 03, so that's going to be that way. How do I know that? Because I screwed it up on my last attempt to do this video. Alright, here we go. So, taxi area is cleared. Taxi clearance has been received. Anti-ice as required. We'll go ahead and turn the pedos on. The only thing I have on is parking brake. We're going to go ahead, turn that off. Get our seat adjusted just so. And get a little power, and here we go. For the record, we are flying light today. I didn't take the time to add any weight to the aircraft. But, you know. Here we go. So 3 is actually to the left. I am absolutely terrible at figuring out how these go. So one thing I really hope that we get backtrack. Like, for I obviously am a very heavy user of the system ATC. I have been since the beginning. I don't think this ATC is as good as it was in FSX or 2004 for that matter. But that's a whole nother discussion. But I really would be cool as if it would then be like, you know, back taxi runway 3, right? If you watch Missionary Bush Pilot, you know, that's how they give him his clearance, or that's what he announces, that he's back taxiing. So I will admit, though, there's so little traffic, you know, AI traffic out here, that it's very rarely a problem. But there we go. So also, I can't speak highly enough of this set. I'm going to throw a link to it down below, where if you happen to have the Honeycomb Bravo and you want to have a set of single turboprop controls that just feel amazing and really give you very precise control of your aircraft, I highly recommend them. I've got a couple of iDigStuff sets. I've got one for the Beaver. I've got one for the DC-3. Really big fan of them. I'm going to continue to add to my collection, especially with 24 coming out, because it just adds another level of flying. And when you don't fly airliners like I do, you know, you take all the immersion you can get. All right, let's get turned around here. And, you know, this time I actually managed to get it right, which makes me really happy. Just a little bit of brake there. And we'll line up like so. Here we go. Let's see. Let's let people know we're taking off. We're going to be parting to the west.
Alpha Yankee Golf Romeo traffic Cessna Juliet 4, November Tango Mike taking off runway 03 departure to the west.
Takeoff checklist, briefing. Basically, it's we go. If anything goes wrong, we try to get back. All right, flight instruments, they look good. Controls are free and clear. Landing lights can go ahead and come on. Shouldn't need to add a strobe to this list. Condition is going to go ahead and come to high. Takeoff clearance, we've given it, and the runway is clear. No dogs, no rocks, no elephants, nothing is there. We're going to go ahead and do a standing takeoff, so I'm going to basically advance that to full, back it off just a little bit so we stay out of the red. Here we go. Speed's alive. She'll fly at 70. Let's go flying.
Yeah.
Woohoo! There we go. A little touch dab on the brakes. Flying the aircraft tarmac to tarmac in Papua New Guinea has shown me that this is a really fun aircraft to fly. And the fact is that although this aircraft wasn't designed to be a bush plane, it can obviously be used as a bush plane. So, start making our right-hand turn. I'm going to go ahead and turn radios over to my co-pilot. This is also
Port Moresby Center, Cessna Juliet 4,
wait,
November
sure.
Tango Mike, is type Cessna Caravan 1 miles northeast of Alpha Yankee Golf Romeo, 1,200 feet.
Flaps coming up.
Request flight following.
Cessna Juliet 4, November Tango Mike, Port Moresby Center. Squawk 0 Tree 62.
Squawk 0 Tree 62 Cessna, November Tango Mike.
Cessna November Tango Mike radar, contact 2 miles north of Alpha Yankee Golf Romeo, 1,700 feet. Altimeter 29.85.
Roger, Cessna, November Tango Mike.
Alright, go ahead and turn my taxi and my landing lights off. And we're set to climb at about 95 knots. We're going to intercept that, and there we go. So really quickly as we climb out here, I'm going to turn it over to my co-pilot a little bit. By the way, the co-pilot's ability to manage ATC is like the greatest thing ever. If you flew in FSX, you flew in 2004 for any sort of distance, forgetting to press a button or missing a radio call was just awful. And now they take care of it, and it's really, really nice. So 2004, right? That's kind of the elephant in the room, as it were. What do I think? In about a week, I'm pre-ordering the Aviator Edition because, save for a few third-party planes that I'm actually in the process of just buying through the marketplace, rebuying, I understand. Yeah, I want it all. And I can, so I'm going to. It's very cool that this is the second release of Microsoft Flight Simulator that I actually get to have opening day. I didn't actually have the last one opening day. I waited a little bit, but you know, it wasn't the years after opening day that I got the other 2004 in FSX. But anyway, that is neither here nor there. Let's see here. I am so excited. There is so much coming to it, and everything I've read leads me to believe that I can play it on the system that I have now. I'm prepared to upgrade a few other things so I can keep recording videos, like 64 gigs of RAM, your aircraft, so that I can keep recording, so that, you know, I can keep sharing these to like the 2.5 people who watch them and my grandmother. I don't have a grandmother who can watch this, but that's neither here nor there. I can't believe what Microsoft is, where they're going with flight simulation. They are wanting to put every tree in the world. They have seasons, animals, missions, career mode, all of it. And it seems like there are a lot of people just jumping the gun, and a lot of people who weren't around for 2004 in FSX and lived with those for 2 decades. I mean, right, FSX came out in 2006, and we got the next actual Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So, let's just, yeah. But no, I'm super excited for it, and I'm gonna keep doing this. I will do a Spruce Goose series, a Hercules series, once it launches, because it will be in the sim as a default aircraft, and that is amazing and awesome, and I'm super excited for it. I really hope. I'm hoping that we have the control bindings now to fix the throttle issue. I really hope. I really do hope that they do get that solved. That's a huge thing for me. But anyway, so yeah, we are just climbing here in the Cessna Caravan. If you haven't flown the Caravan, I highly suggest that you do, because it is a lot of fun. And for flights like this, it's great. We're going to basically do an airline flight in a very, very small area. We are here over gorgeous Papua New Guinea. I mean, this is looking better than Flight Simulator has ever looked, and this is the default scenery. It's mind-blowing, and 2024 promises more, but we'll see what that is. We are going to continue heading to Port Moresby, and for the time being, I'm going to throw some music on, be quiet, and we'll see you guys on our approach. welcome back. I've just taken control of the aircraft and we are on our way in. We're landing 1-4 in Port Mosby. See that lake in front of us? That's a really good setting point if you're planning on 1-4 left or right. So we're going to aim for that lake right there. Go ahead, bring my propeller all the way forward. Get advantage of the little drag that does give me. Start flying parallel to the course. Alright, I can see the runway, or the airport now. We should be getting clearance to land here shortly. Start bringing that throttle down a little bit. And our landing is going to be on 1-4 left. Keep that descent going. There's the runway.
2500.
2500. Start our turn in here. Give ourselves plenty of room. Here come approach flap. There's approach flap, counter trim.
Cessna November Tango, Mike, wind 144 at 10. Clear to land runway 14 left.
Clear to land runway 14 left, Cessna November Tango Mike.
I have the runway in sight. Landing checklist, flaps set, and coming in, propeller is at max. Landing clearance has been received. Exterior lights are all on. AP is off. Landing area appears to be clear. I am actually going to go ahead and turn on the inertial separator though, because I don't know what the status of the runway is. And we're going to go full flaps and look for about 80 knots. A little bit more counter trim there. Looking for 80 knots. I have found that a whole bunch of aircraft land at about 80 knots. The DC-3 lands at about 80 knots. Kodiak, 80 knots is good, although you can obviously get away with far less, especially depending on your flap setting. And I've noticed that this aircraft lands pretty good at 80 knots. So she flies at 70, she lands at 80. I don't know if that's true or not, but it works for me. I mean, we could do a little lower, probably around 75, 1,000. But honestly, I mean, that's kind of where we're sitting right now is 75. And I could add just a touch of power here, 71. A little bit more. There we go. Speed's coming up nicely. Trying to maintain that landing attitude there. One thing as a virtual pilot only, and something that I struggle with, is to not land like on the deck of a carrier. And that is to keep my nose down and that landing. Oh, we are super high right now. We're going to go ahead and just chop our throttles here. Drop. One of the next things I'm going to learn, now that I figured out the FLC, is I'm going to figure out how to slip aircraft. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm coming in high. Also, though, I have discovered in general that if you know what you're doing, you can just chop to flight idle. Right now, we're maintaining at flight idle about 80. And much like when you climb, you can descend at a given speed.
500.
500. Continue. Oh, there's a slight crosswind there.
400.
400. Committed. Landing. Might be a little long. It might be a little rough.
300.
300. But yeah, I think we're
200.
gonna 200. I think we're just gonna bring her in a little. There we go. And that's gonna drop our speed. Bring in
100.
power a little bit. This is gonna be a firm landing, a long landing, but I think we might be able to
50.
float it.
40.
All right, we've missed the landing zone. Here we go. We're floating now.
30.
On purpose. Power's coming off. And Pull, 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 pull. There's power off.
20.
We're trying to cheat our landing statistics. Easy does it. There we go.
Cessna November Tango, Mike exit runway when able.
Out of reverse. Flaps are up. We might get busted for taxiing above speed, but I'll accept it. I think that was a fairly decent landing. I forgot to turn on my passengers in my FS Realistic. I'll make sure we have passengers
Cessna
on the next
November
flight.
Tango, Mike turn next taxiway.
There we go. Put that at low idle.
Cessna November Tango, Mike contact ground on 121.7.
And we'll contact ground here.
121.7 Cessna November Tango Mike.
Landing lights
Goodbye.
off, strobes off.
Port Moresby ground Cessna Juliet 4, November Tango Mike taxi to the gate.
Cessna Juliet 4, November Tango, Mike taxi to gate tree via taxiway Mike Lima Alpha Delta.
Taxiing to gate tree using taxiway, Mike Lima Alpha Delta Cessna,
For
November
those of you
Tango
who
Mike.
are old enough in the sim world, do you remember how cool FS Passengers was? A super simple program that has added so much immersion to the flight experience. My favorite thing was that you could turn on music as you taxied to the gate. You'd have music taxiing to the gate. It was really nice. Of course, I can't use music in this broadcast right now because copyright, but we can imagine, right? So yeah, this is just me dipping my feet back into the flying while being recorded waters. So it's a little rough. I acknowledge that. But my hope is that over time we'll get back into me being less self-conscious and just wanting to put content out there because I want to. And engaging with all of you. Because in 31 days I think, from when I'm recording this, we're going to get Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and you better believe that I am going to be doing videos on it. There are a lot of great videos from creators on Microsoft 2024, and basically, as I've said previously, all I'm taking away is that it's going to be absolutely amazing and another step in the right direction. I think what a lot of people are missing here, I'll wrap up my final thoughts here. I think what a lot of people are missing are go back and look at 2004. Go back, look at FSX. Look at the commonality between those two platforms, and then that's what I'm guessing we're going to see in 2020 and 2024. The menu system between 2004 and FSX is remarkably similar. The sounds, actually, are basically the same because I've loaded them both up onto my vintage gaming machine and flown them back to back simply so that I could see. And I think we're going to see a very similar architecture in 24. But it's going to be a new game. You know, it's going to be a wonderful improvement. It's going to be just a new experience, and we're going to start exploring the world and flying all over again. Just like we did with FS98, just like we did with 2000, 2002, 2004, and FSX. Right? I have played all of those, and every time it gets a little better, but it is a brand new game. Every time we've rebought aircraft, every time we've found new systems, right? And that's what 2024 is going to be. And I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I doubt I will get another video in between now and the release of 2024. But I would say that I will do a 2024 video sometime in November. If for no other reason than to keep, I don't know, keep doing this. And to all of the people who have inspired me, pop up here so I can see where my taxi is here. MU Herd 37, of course, Captain Mac, Avangel, you know, you all and many others put out Jonathan Beckett. You all put out content that I enjoy, and so I do what I can to put that content out there as well. You know, I just enjoy flying, and I enjoy taking people along with me. So we're gonna pull into the gate here, and we'll call it a flight. Don't know how this is gonna come out, but I am gonna publish this because it's been too long, and it's my off season for sailing, so I now flight sim, and I'm gonna take you along for the ride, whether you want to or not. So, from all of us here at the Maxwell Virtual Aviation Studios, thanks for flying with us today, and we hope that you have a good one. We'll catch you on the next one.